Have you ever wondered what truly lurks in the deepest, most untouched parts of our planet? Places where nature reigns supreme and humanity is just a visitor. Today, we're venturing into the heart of the Amazon rainforest, following the footsteps of Dr. Aris Thorne, a renowned herpetologist on a mission to study the elusive green anaconda. But this expedition would become a story not of discovery, but of survival against one of nature's most formidable predators. The air was thick, a heavy blanket of humidity clinging to everything. The symphony of the jungle was constant, the buzz of insects, the call of distant birds, the rustle of unseen creatures. Aris, with his years of experience, felt at home here. He was tracking a signal from a tagged anaconda, a large female he'd been monitoring for months. The signal led him deeper than ever before, into a part of the swampy marshland that was notoriously difficult to navigate. The water was murky, the vegetation impossibly dense. It was the perfect territory for an apex predator. As he waded through the waist-deep water, pushing aside giant lily pads, a sudden stillness fell over the swamp. The usual chorus of the jungle went silent, an eerie quiet. Aris knew this was a bad sign. It's the kind of silence that precedes a storm, or in this case, a strike. He froze, his senses on high alert, his hand instinctively reaching for the large knife sheathed at his belt. He scanned the water's surface, his heart beginning to pound against his ribs. Nothing, just the dark, still water reflecting the canopy above. Then, he saw it. A ripple. Not from the wind, but from something massive moving just beneath the surface. It was heading directly for him. Before he could react, the water erupted. A head the size of a small car lunged out, jaws agape. This wasn't the anaconda he was tracking. This was something else, something far, far larger. A titan from a forgotten age. Its eyes, cold and ancient, locked onto him. In that split second, Aris wasn't a scientist. He was prey. The impact was like being hit by a freight train. The python's massive body coiled around him with incredible speed and force. The air was instantly crushed from his lungs. The pressure was immense, a vice of pure muscle tightening with every heartbeat. He felt his ribs groaning under the strain. Panic tried to claw its way up his throat, but he couldn't even draw a breath to scream. His world narrowed to the suffocating grip of the serpent and the terrifying hiss in his ear. Every survival instinct screamed at him. He remembered his training, the countless articles he'd read, the stories he'd heard from locals. Don't struggle against the coils. You'll only make them tighten. The goal is the head. With a surge of adrenaline, he fought against the crushing weight, his arm pinned but his hand still free. He fumbled for his knife, his fingers numb and clumsy. The world was starting to go dark at the edges, his vision tunneling. He was running out of time. His fingers finally closed around the handle of the knife. It was a desperate, almost impossible maneuver. The snake was shifting, adjusting its grip, preparing for the final constriction. With a final convulsive effort, Aris wrenched the blade free. He didn't have the leverage for a clean strike. It was pure, primal instinct. He began to jab and slash at the scaly body wrapped around him. He aimed for anything he could reach, the soft underbelly, the area near the head, anything to make it release its hold. The python recoiled in pain. The pressure lessened, just for a moment. But it was enough. Aris gasped, dragging a precious, ragged breath into his burning lungs. The snake, enraged, thrashed violently, trying to dislodge the source of its pain. Aris was thrown about like a rag doll in the churning water, but he held onto that knife like his life depended on it. Because it did. He knew this was his only chance. He had to end this now. Summoning the last of his strength, he used the brief slack in the coils to push himself away, creating a sliver of space. He saw the massive head turning back towards him, its mouth open in a terrifying display. He lunged forward, not away. He plunged the knife with all his might into the side of the serpent's head, just behind its eye. There was a sickening crunch as the blade found its mark. The giant body went rigid, a final, massive spasm that nearly broke him. And then, as suddenly as it began, the pressure was gone. The immense coils went limp, unspooling from his body and sinking into the murky depths. Aris floated to the surface, gasping, coughing up water, his body screaming in agony. He was alive, bruised, battered, with ribs that were surely broken, but alive. He dragged himself to the muddy bank, collapsing in exhaustion. He lay there for what felt like hours, the silence of the jungle slowly returning, as if paying its respects to the fallen giant and the man who had survived. Aris's story is a stark and powerful reminder of the raw power of the natural world. It's a world we must respect and approach with caution and humility. He was lucky, combining his knowledge, his preparedness, and a sheer will to live to overcome impossible odds. What an incredible tale of survival. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey. If you were captivated by this story, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next adventure. We'll see you in the next video.